Hey everybody, this is the Aggressively Medium Podcast with Lee and Josh.
25.
Got my empty Pepsi bottle for marketing. There you go.
That's for marketing. This is my marketing right here.
Man, our podcast.
Dale Earnhardt.
Eminem's killed him. I was just going through and reading the titles of the stuff.
They're
off of
ridiculous.
YouTube. They should be. It's funny.
Yeah. I thought about the other day whether or not I should keep doing that or just put
for
episode.
Sure. No. Name
But
them.
yeah, I think they.
You know what my favorite one is?
What?
R.I.P. Charlie D. That was my favorite one.
That was the favorite title for the episode.
Yeah, I'm not glad he died.
Yeah.
But
well, I just didn't know if you meant your favorite episode, like if you went back and actually listened to a couple of them.
No. Just the titles. We're headlines kind of people around here.
Yeah, apparently.
God.
So if you are tuning in, normally we do this at the end, but you can find us on a number of places. If you're just watching us on Spotify or iTunes or whatever,
Well,
we are on.
if you're watching us on Spotify, let me know how you do that.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Cool.
So we are on YouTube.
Yep.
We're
video.
on. Yeah,
so you
video.
Can see our.
Ugly faces.
I was gonna say our handsome faces.
If you want to lie to yourself, that's fine.
I just build myself up.
That's fine.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah. YouTube,
Spotify,
iTunes, tune in. I think that's it.
AM radio.
Yeah. Tune in on 90 or no, they're 100. They're like 507 AM.
Yep.
That just sounds weird.
Ham radio station 12.
Yeah. If you're a trucker,
Yep.
at any time, just pop over to channel 3.
3.
Yeah, on your CB radio.
Yes.
And we're on there. It's not episodes. We're just on there talking.
Yeah.
It's like a Q&A.
It's our rough draft. Yeah, that's the bonus content.
Yeah.
Is on ham radio.
For getting our Patreon or whatever, you get our CB radio
if
channel.
If people cared, that's such an easy way to make money for nothing.
If people actually cared about this podcast enough, I would do it every day. Like if it made money, I would do it. I would make podcasts every day.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
That'd be like saying if I for a living just walked around finding money on the ground, I'd probably do that.
I'd probably just walk around.
No kidding.
But we also have a phone number.
Yep.
That you can text us, you can call us, you can send us a video. That phone number is 205-523-5934. And we had a little submission this week. Actually, right before we started filming. We
sat down,
we sat down and we got a submission.
From our old pal Colin.
Colleen Spread Lady.
It's Colleen
Spandalay. You know, so the reason I call him Colleen is so you sit down at church and they say, hey, fill out a connection card if it's your first time here or whatever. I filled one out for him.
Of course.
And it was Colleen, and I think it was Sprad Lady or something like that, and marked him as a female. And then he had
that kind of stuff.
He had all these issues that he needed prayer for that were just ridiculous, and I'm not going to say what they were.
People spend time praying for those
No,
things.
I didn't submit it. I handed it to him. He was sitting right next to me, and it was just funny that he just
little jokester.
He just got to sit there and read it. But so he sent in this picture which was from another friend of ours, Derek.
He's my insurance.
Mine too. He's a great insurance guy.
Yeah.
Well, that can be a plug.
If you're in Northport, I mean, you don't have to be.
If you're in
Northport.
Tuscaloosa,
yeah, we're in
Tuscaloosa County. Go check out Derek Daniel State Farm Insurance.
Yep.
He used to be a photographer.
That's cool.
Back when I was in a band.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so that's what this picture is from.
You still hiding the name of that band?
Yep.
Ooh.
And if you say it on air, I'll just cut it out.
I know what it is.
Because I have editing capabilities.
Dang.
But yeah, he said scrolling through some old photos and found this gem. And it was a picture of me. I probably weigh 86 pounds.
Soaking wet.
The hair is most of the poundage, I would say.
Man, it looks golden brown too.
Yeah. Oh, it was blonde. Buddy, it was blonde.
You got a bunch of it. Had a bunch of it.
It's all gone. And so sometimes I wonder, I've got
We're
a widow's
gonna put
peak.
the picture somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be right here.
So y'all know
it's
what we're
already
talking
up when
It's right here.
It's right here. If you're watching on YouTube,
This guy.
I wonder sometimes if I have had a widow's peak forever and just had so much hair that it was just over the front of it.
You got one now?
Oh yeah,
like a lady that's lost a couple of husbands worth of widow's peak.
I get it cut so I can.
You can cover it up.
It's a comb over. I got the Trump a little bit.
You got that.
Got the Trump. It's every year.
What am I talking about? I'm going bald on the top. I'd rather be receding from the front than the top down.
Yeah, you're going to have a cul-de-sac and I'm going to have an island. Yours is just going to go all the way around.
I've already told Anna.
And I'm just going to be just a little drifting island out front.
I already told Anna, the day you can see my scalp through it, we're going cue ball.
Yeah.
Forever.
If I didn't look so freaking weird with a shaved head, I would have already shaved my head.
Yeah.
I've got a very lumpy head.
Oh, it's lumpy.
Yeah, it's very lumpy. So if I shave it, it's just like, it looks like the moon. It's just craters everywhere. And I don't know what that was from. Probably falling on my head when I was a kid or something.
Should you have worn one of them forming helmets when you were little?
Probably. I don't even think they had that. I think they just
Probably not.
I think they just grabbed me by the head and just like started yanking, and then it just formed like if you had the doctor who delivered me today and you put his hands on my head, it would probably be an exact match. Yeah.
Like a Tempur-Pedic mattress.
Yeah. It's just like a
memory foam.
Tempur-Pedic. Yeah.
You got a memory foam head.
But the memory foam never sprung back. It's been 30 years.
It's
31 years.
Dry rot memory foam.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Dang. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't remember what we were talking about.
Just how you can find us and watch us.
Yeah, if you can find us and watch us on any of those things. If you have a way that you like to listen to podcasts or watch podcasts, just let us know and we'll try and
but for
pop
the most
over
part,
into that
we pretty
too.
much covered.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean,
the main basis.
Yeah, most people. That's how people get their information.
Yeah.
Episode 25, and we currently have how many of these cut up into clips that you can go look at on YouTube?
Less than one.
Less than one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
So if you want to look at the clips, just count yourself lucky.
They're coming.
They're coming?
Yep.
Okay. Well, as long as they're coming.
They're coming.
But yeah, so have you seen the new Dancing with the Stars lineup? I know you're really into Dancing with the Stars.
Honestly, I've never seen an episode of Dancing with the Stars.
Well, the new Dancing with the Stars lineup, there's actually, let me...
yeah, who's in it? I know the one because we talked about it already.
We talked about the one. But so you have 59-year-old... Oh, no, that's the person that we're talking about. You have Chriselle Status of Selling Sunset. Ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, old Chriselle.
Yeah. NFL tight end Vernon Davis.
Oh, that's a shame.
Cheer coach Monica Aladaban. I'm horrible at this. Janine Mai of The Real. Rapper Nelly. That's one I know. Actress Anne Heche.
Anne Heche?
Anne Heche. She was in that movie that was in Tuscaloosa.
She's an act. She's like a A-list or was. I don't know if she is
Desperate
now.
Housewives alumni Jesse Metcalf.
Metcalf, probably.
Neve Schulman off of Catfish.
Ugh.
Disney darling Sky Jackson. Former Nick Charles Oakley. That was weird. Figure skater, blah, 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 blah. Actress Caitlin Bristow of The Bachelor. Backstreet Boy AJ McClellan.
All right.
Tyra Banks.
Oh.
Bunch of people nobody cares about. And then
The one and only
Tiger Queen.
Carol
Baskins. And
that murdering one.
I've never seen an episode of Dancing with the Stars, even when we had our favorite girl that was on there. We both love her.
Talking about Hannah?
Yeah, Hannah Brown. Even when she was on there, I didn't watch a single episode. And we are in love with her if you haven't seen any of the other episodes. But I have never known them to have such a hefty woman on Dancing with the Stars. To see Carol Baskins, who's probably going to be... I couldn't see her anything but awkward movement wise.
You either saw her on a golf cart or on a bicycle on the dock.
And the way that she walked was just that slow.
Yeah, I didn't get athlete from her.
Yeah, I didn't get anything from that other than she killed her husband.
And got away with it.
Yeah.
First off, we're being a little fast and loose with Star on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, that's true. Half those names I didn't know.
It's like we're dancing with the LED lights. Let's not.
Yeah, these are no longer
with the not even
stars.
LED. We're talking about like fluorescent bulbs, the old ones.
Yeah, you can't even get those anymore for the most part. So
and who's that big about dancing?
There's a considerable amount of the U.S. that likes dancing.
I was never in on dance, but I had to say if I'd had
you look like a dancer though.
Well, same to Carol.
Yeah,
that's yeah. I heard somebody say that whenever you see somebody who's famous on one of these kind of things, they're on the down.
Yeah, they're on the downward slide. Which
Backstreet Boys, obviously.
Well, Anne Heche was in that movie. Have you seen that movie? The Vanished.
You told me to watch it, but
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Being filmed. So, for those of you that don't know, there was a movie that was filmed in Tuscaloosa with Anne Heche,
and a couple of other former.
There were a couple of people that I was like, oh, I think I know that person.
I know who that is. Yeah,
yeah. But it was filmed in Tuscaloosa at Lake Nickel. It was called The Vanished.
The Vanished.
And it wasn't a bad movie. Considering everything that I knew about it, it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
There was a couple of things that I was really like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, they had Tuscaloosa Police Department cars, and they were all in sheriff's uniforms. So they had city police cars, and then, I don't know. They also said in the movie they were 40 miles from any town.
Which they're in a town.
They're literally in a town. Yeah, you drive 3 miles and you're at Publix from that location. You had to drive
past the nicest neighborhoods in town too, to get there.
Yeah. Which they don't show all that. They just show the.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So Carol Baskins, I fully expect her to be in her normal garb. So some sort of
they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
bunch of stripes,
a ball gown with a stripe, racing stripe. Hopefully,
I got a prediction.
She goes all the way.
She's gonna break something.
God,
early.
If she does it on TV, where it's just like she's spinning around,
it'll be training,
bro. But if she does, that's gold. I'll make shirts.
That's just dangerous.
Having all that weight thrown around
and just being a little older like bones. That
she's not in the best of health conditions, and that's what I mean by she's bigger. She's not healthy.
No.
And she looks frail. Her hair looks frail.
Yeah,
she's got that wispy
healthy.
Yeah. So fully expect Carol Baskins not to make it to the end.
No,
or she makes it all the way, because who else is on there that you're going to vote for?
Them knees won't last.
But if she stays in health-wise,
she
out of all
loved,
of those people,
though.
But she's popular. Any PR is good PR.
That's a dumb thing to say,
but she's popular.
Yeah.
So who else would you going to vote for? Anne Heche.
I'm not going to vote for anybody.
But if you had to, is there anybody? Neve, maybe from
Vernon Davis,
from Catfish.
Vernon Davis, the tight end. He used to play for San Francisco.
You'd vote for him.
He was on my fantasy team back in the day a few times. He was really good, which is sad to see because that means he's on the down.
Yeah. If you're on one of these shows, you don't have any life left in you.
I think he retired from the NBA. Nope, NFL. Sorry. But yeah, I would vote for Vernon Davis.
Over Carol.
Over anybody, I guess. I'm not voting for anybody, but it's sad because he was on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I really liked Vernon Davis when he was a football player. But
nobody cares about football players anymore.
Not any pro sports.
I would say, so you said this earlier, that views are down across all pro sports.
Yep.
Which I would be curious to see if the same is true for UFC.
Probably.
Because they were one of the first sports to start back.
Yeah.
And so it was almost like they didn't lose a ton of momentum.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know, because when we were in high school, UFC was the thing.
Yeah. It was very popular.
And that was a decade ago now.
But now you got Joe Rogan. Well, you've always had Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan's popularity has increased,
crazy.
which means UFC.
No, you're right. And then like the fight sports in general.
Yeah.
I bet UFC's doing fine.
But like NBA.
Sports, the one, and they.
Well, did you see where NBA, like the Lakers and the Clippers are no longer playing this season or something like that?
They just quit altogether.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee Bucks, or the Timberwolves, Minnesota.
Which honestly, got to think, is this PR stunt to get more viewers? Baseball's pumping in crowd noise. Did you see
they
that?
needed to be doing that for a long time now.
Yeah. I did watch a basketball game the other day where they had everybody zooms in, like the fans are zoomed in.
Huh.
And it's like they've got big LED walls on all sides of the court, and it's just people like who are watching it on Zoom. But
that's cool for the situation we're in, but
it's kind of lame though.
People are tired of being told they're bad.
In what way?
You're racist.
Oh yeah.
You don't care about COVID. You don't care about black people dying. You don't care about the police being evil. You don't care about. Look, there's truth to all of it to a degree. Like, yes, there are police officers that are bad.
Mm-hmm.
There are racist people in the country.
Yeah.
And I'll argue both ways. Regardless of whatever definition of racism you concoct to where it can only go one way, that's stupid. Because it goes both ways. And it goes to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of, and especially like, first off, LeBron, you are one of the richest people in the world.
Yeah.
Don't say you worry about getting gunned down on the street on the way to a game.
Yeah. If somebody pulls LeBron over, they're not going to pull you out of the truck, beat the snot out of you.
No.
Which they shouldn't do that with anybody, but they're definitely not going to do it to him. And so he's screaming about an injustice that he'll probably never feel again in his entire life.
And then it's First Amendment. I'm using my platform. Well, there's just so much stuff going on in the world.
What's stupid to me is it follows that same logic. Is all these people that are screaming about injustice and they're tweeting it out from phones that were made in China
Slave
by
labor.
kids that are killing themselves.
Yeah.
Like, how noble are you really?
Yeah.
Like,
capitalism, you're over here tweeting about how bad capitalism is.
And you're giving money
on everything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to get back to Chinese kids. It's just, don't tweet that you hate capitalism on your Twitter account from your smartphone.
Because they're a for-profit company that wants to make as much money as they can make.
Yeah.
Period.
So let's all just relax on capitalism.
Yeah. It's just, don't. You can't, if you're going to go one way, you got to go all that way.
Yeah.
Don't tweet at me from your Twitter account, who's owned by one of the largest corporations in the world, and then from an Apple iPhone phone, which is one of the largest tech providers in the world, who uses slave labor. Kids are literally jumping off buildings. They have to install nets on their buildings from kids jumping off of them because they hate the working conditions so much. Yeah. It's like, you're really justice oriented.
Yeah.
Love hearing that. Love hearing your thoughts on injustice when you yourself are given, when a new iPhone comes out, you're just throwing $1,000 at Apple.
And like, you want to give the government the ability to silence all these people that you can't stand what they're saying. Try that in real life.
Yeah. Well, and that's
see if you can tweet in North Korea about how bad the government is.
Oh yeah.
Try that.
Yeah. Well, try and put anything on Facebook that's Republican oriented right now, and they will fact check you and then throw your post away.
Oh, that was the craziest thing. The CDC, their new numbers that came out Friday, all the, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody that puts up that, even just a link to the CDC website, gets flagged on Facebook.
As fact, this is not factual. Yeah.
From the CDC.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that aspect of it is wild, but also for those of you that don't know, that's right now the new numbers that came out for the CDC. Well, the new breakdown of the numbers that came out from the CDC, because the deaths are the same. The number of deaths is the same, but they started breaking it down by comorbidities, which if you don't know what a comorbidity is it's something that you had while you died. So if you shot yourself in the face and you had COVID, the death on your death certificate would say suicide, not COVID. But the way that, so the new numbers came out, 94% of people who have died from COVID also had a comorbidity. So they had another pre-existing condition, which from everything that I've seen, they've been saying from the start. And they've also been saying that if you are, like, the median death age is, I think, which the median death age means the average age of death is like 82, which they've been saying if you are older, then you're more susceptible to death. So, but 94% of people who have died have had a comorbidity. And so all these people on the right who I am going to vote for Trump the next election, because why wouldn't you? Especially given the two candidates. But everybody on the right is going, well, it's only 6%. So that means only like 6% of the people actually died from COVID. And it's like that. Well, that's not the case at all. Like, there's still 200,000 people or whatever the number is that have died from COVID.
With COVID.
Which if it's on the death certificate and you have comorbidities, then they're saying this is the thing that caused the death more than the other factors. There are other factors that cause the death, but I'm with you on stuff where I think we should, anything that's closed down, like we shouldn't close down bars.
Yeah. Seeing the numbers.
Like what was the number from UA this past week?
So, and this has been national news.
Yeah.
National news that the University of Alabama opened back up, started the semester. If you hybrid, you go to class if you want to or have to, but you can take stuff online, do whatever. But students are back living in the dorms, living in the off-campus apartments and properties and stuff. And at UA, you have to have a COVID screening test before. That was part of the application. And so if you had it, you had to stay where you were for 2 more weeks, and then you could come. And then they do tests all the time on the students because, like,
well, they've got mass testing behind Coleman Coliseum.
Yeah,
It's if you're a UA student, you go through this. It's pretty much like a drive-through or a walk-through or whatever.
That thing's a mess, though. If you've
there was like 1,000 people there the other day.
Yeah,
and it's all students.
So because they say if your roommate gets it, you have to go get tested.
Yeah,
and so of course that logic creates like a 8-hour. You got to wait in line for hours and hours and hours before you get tested. And so we had a huge surge in positive tests.
Yeah.
First off, we could argue up and down about how reliable the tests are to begin with because there's a ton of problems with them, and there's been a bunch of misreporting and false positives.
Yeah.
All that.
Well,
let's just take the numbers as they sit.
And so to attribute that, if you get a test, the test from what I've seen, and this is like information that's come out for us as the fire department, all this other stuff is, if you have a test, you can test positive even if you don't have it because it's leftover.
It's remnants
of the virus that you had, that you've had it before. And so we don't even use a lot of people are saying, you've got to get a negative test before you come back to work. We don't use that logic anymore because you get 10 days after you have symptoms. Once you start showing symptoms, you're quarantined for 10 days. Yeah. But so if all these kids are going and getting tested, obviously they could have had the virus at some point. And then the remnant of the virus is showing a positive test. They had it
and it didn't affect them because they didn't have these comorbidities or whatever. You ate a couple extra apples that week and you knocked it out yourself.
Yeah.
So there was an upsurge in positive cases on campus. Duh. I think it was like in 1 week. I think it was last week. There were 1,000. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Yeah. The campus is on fire. Well, there's 0 hospitalizations.
Yeah.
So
there's not as many, it's not a bad, just because there's 1,000, there could be 1,000 people with allergies on campus, but if nobody's going to the hospital or nobody's dying from it, then it's like, let's just.
Well, what about
take your 10 days? If you get a positive test, take your 10 days.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do.
But now imagine how hard that is for businesses that employ college students as employees.
Well,
because
either that or if you're a college student who's an employee who doesn't have it, you're getting bomb overtime.
But it's almost impossible to keep people behind your counter because
they're constantly flowing through.
Well, you'll get calls. Hey, I can't come into work. My roommate has a positive test.
Yeah.
So I can't come to work for 10 days.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to. And then when half of your staff's roommate has it, they don't even have it, but they can't come to work.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you'll get shut down by the health department.
Yeah. Well, and we used to, so with my job, what we used to do is if somebody at the station had it, everybody was quarantined. Now we go, just because you had an exposure doesn't mean anything. You wear a mask. If you had an exposure, you wear a mask until you're symptomatic. Once you become symptomatic, then quarantine. But if you don't ever have symptoms, there's no reason to quarantine. Because who cares? You got exposed. As long as you don't get sick, wear a mask the entire time, and that's going to protect me. It's going to protect you.
Yeah.
And then go about your day.
Yeah.
Get done what you need. And that's like Walt has closed the bars down for 14 days. At this point, it's probably 7 days left or something.
Yeah, we're halfway through it.
Yeah, we're halfway through it. So this is technically old news. But the mayor of our town has closed the bars down for 14 days based on projected numbers.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you should ever run off of projected numbers. Unless stuff just keeps ramping up, then okay, yeah, fine. But that really hasn't happened with us. That hasn't happened in Tuscaloosa.
Well, you know what? He had to do that because if he takes that to the city council and says, look, we have almost no hospitalizations from this. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of positive tests, but it's not hurting many people.
Yeah.
I'm going to close the bars down for 2 weeks. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's nobody's sick enough to go to the hospital. Why would you close it? Well, these are projected numbers. Well, if it looks like it's going to be bad, shut them down.
Yeah.
See, there's every side of everything has so much spin.
Yeah.
And
we talked a little bit about that before we started filming too, was there's so much information out there that feels like it's tied to a political party.
Yeah.
Like, if you believe this, well, then you're automatically a Democrat. If you believe this, then you're automatically a Republican.
Yeah.
And if you think the other way, then you can't be whatever you like. It's a bunch of political parties pushing agendas right now. And I'm not a fan of it. Like, we need the people who, and even
because science was supposed to be your gold standard, non-polluted science.
Which it's turned into something that's not that.
Yeah,
because
it's whose science? Well, is it the science that Fox reporting, or is it the science that CNN is reporting? And they're so different.
Yeah,
and so
well, there's tons of doctors that are coming out. Like, there's tons of studies from other countries, like full countries, not just like a couple of doctors here and there doing it, but full. Like, I think Venezuela did it, maybe a couple of other, but And then there's been doctors here that have done it with the hydrochloroquine that are saying if this is given early enough that you don't have as many problems or like it's going to be an easier time for you. Well, because Trump tweeted that out at some point, said it in an interview. Speech. Now every Democrat has a problem with that because he said it. Yeah, which is half the country. So half the country has a problem with that, even though there's tons of other cases or situations where that's happened and it's given positive results. Yeah. But because Trump said it, we can't rely on it because he's whatever. Which that video a couple of weeks ago or whatever with the like all the doctors that got up and were testifying, and then it turned out one of them. Did you see that video?
No.
Okay, so there's a video that came out, and it was everybody who was a conservative was putting this on their Facebook page, that it was this group of doctors in Texas that were saying hydrochloroquine is the answer. If you use it, we've had 350 patients, not a single one of them's died, and it's fixing it. It's fixing the problems. Well, one of the doctors that was on there was a lady doctor, and
which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. She was a lady doctor, and people started doing some research into all the doctors that were.
Oh, is she the?
She's the one that believes
and brimstone. And
she believes that medicine is derived from alien DNA.
Yeah. I've heard about this lady.
Yeah, I did some research on it and saw where she had said these things.
Yeah, she's crazy.
And then like the reason that you get sick is because you have sex with demons in your sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
she's the doctor.
They don't at the exit of you being a doctor, they don't say, "Hey, what are your political or what's the craziest thing you believe?"
She went with that University of Phoenix medical degree. Must have been.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she got her full doctorate at Shelton State.
Mm.
So
I went there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying that. Yeah. But yeah, like there's so much misinformation, and there's so many like I'm not gonna believe a thing that woman says.
Yeah,
that woman could tell me that there was a truck coming right for me behind me, and I'm not even turning around.
I wonder if she has patients that like. Her first prescription for them was like holy water or something, and then like
or stay awake all night so that the demon doesn't have sex with you.
A spiritual chastity belt for your sleep.
I mean, it could be.
Dude, there's nutty people out there.
There's a lot of crazy, and they're ridiculous. And what gets me is these crazy people that think there's cures for some of this stuff that people are.
Well, so that's the conspiracy deep state. Like they have the cure for cancer, but cancer medication is such a huge business that if they just cured cancer,
then
there'd be no money on the sales of like radiation and chemo and all that stuff. And honestly, I don't. I can't believe you'd actually think that. Once you've had your eyes open to like some of the crazy stuff that's actually real, it's not hard to get to that place.
Yeah, it's a logical conclusion.
It's logical for sure.
Yeah.
But seeing old Sleepy Joe, old bobblehead Joe, do everything he's done over the past 6 months. It's hard to believe that they've got cures for a bunch of these diseases
and haven't given him the cure.
He'd have them.
Yeah, if there was a cure for Alzheimer's, they'd have done slipped it to him.
Or just old age, just kind of slipping, and that there's no like fountain of youth drug out there that they say some of these evil people are taking, because he'd be shot to the gills up with it.
Yeah, well, and I've had the viewpoint for a while of. Like, so, okay, they've got a cure for cancer, right? So, like, this is what people say,
right.
you know. So we'll say they've got a cure for cancer. Well, why don't we get it? It's like, okay, well, because there's so much money being pumped into these cancer
in
treatment and stuff like that, that like even if it was available, we wouldn't be able to get it.
Yeah.
Well, take somebody like Steve Jobs, who died of cancer,
He would have
and
had
has
that.
millions and millions of dollars. His company's worth billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So even he couldn't get it.
Right.
So now you're saying what?
The Democrat presidential nominee can't get some non-slobber pill.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ain't out there.
Because he's going to push the agenda of...
He's going to make them more money. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to push the agenda of the people that would have the ability to not distribute that drug, which is the same thing. This is somebody... I was talking with somebody the other day, and they were like... They said something about, well, Tom Hanks, you know, was... he was a part of whatever, like the Epstein stuff.
They found his name on some manifests.
They didn't.
They didn't?
They didn't.
That's
what people were saying.
I heard that.
It was a big thing. If you listen to me and Riley's episode, we talked about this. But his name was not on the logs.
That's good.
And then they said, well, he fled the country and he went to Greece or something like that, where his family is from. And he has been known to go quite a bit. But somebody sees him, oh, he's going to Greece. Oh, he must be a pedophile.
Yeah.
And then they come up with this big story. Well, but then somebody countered. They said, well, he's got enough money. He could have like gotten his name off that log.
Yeah.
Be like, you mean so Bill Clinton didn't have that much money, or Prince Harry or whatever didn't have that much money?
Whichever prince it was. I think it was like Edward or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't Harry.
Whoever. They didn't have enough money to get their name taken off, but he did. It's like, come on now. Like, what's the truth that you're trying to get to? And if you're trying to get to a truth, why would this celebrity not be able to get it and this celebrity can?
It's like we said, if old Joe Biden's in the situation he's in, there is no secret drug out there.
Unless you count drinking baby's blood or whatever.
Hey, Nancy Pelosi's 80. And she don't look it.
She looks 80.
Well, she wears them scarves cover up that chicken neck she's got.
She looks old. She
don't look 80.
Does my dad look 78?
You know that's how old Joe Biden is?
78?
Yeah.
Joe Biden looks way older than my dad. My dad doesn't look 78.
But you don't ever see and
it's because he drinks baby's blood. My dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go then.
There you go. He's on the same list as Pelosi.
Dang.
They've got the same distributor.
Well, but you'll never see Joe Biden up close and personal without makeup on. So it's hard to tell.
Well, you wouldn't see Nancy Pelosi either.
I thought you were about to say your dad.
You won't catch my dad without makeup on. That's just facts. No. Pelosi's the same way. She's got makeup out the wazoo.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Joe's too far gone for there to be some miracle drug.
I definitely don't think there's going to be a debate. I don't think that you can.
Well, so there's two ways that can go.
Mm-hmm.
They're either going to not do the debates. So I've actually heard some different things that could be funny. So, they're either going to, is like right before the debate's going to happen, Biden's going to get COVID. And he's going to do the responsible thing.
Yeah, and not, even though he'd be 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
And probably have a mask on and all that stuff.
He's going to do the honorable thing, the smart thing, the healthy thing,
mm-hmm.
what we should all be doing.
Yeah.
And so he won't debate. And then Nancy Pelosi said that she doesn't want Joe to debate because if he gets on a stage with Trump, it will validate the things Trump says. It'll give it power.
Yeah. Well,
you shouldn't even give Trump the chance to say things because they're so outlandish and stupid and mean and all that if Joe shouldn't debate to even give him the ability to say the things.
Have you seen
that's just another thing to keep Joe off the stage.
Well, have you seen the stuff that's like CNN has a fact checker for like during the anytime Trump pretty much talks, like live.
NPR has one. They all have them.
But they never fact check the Democrats. And then they said, well, it's because we don't lie.
Yeah.
I think instead of having a fact checker for CNN whenever Joe talks, maybe they should have an interpreter that goes, this is what he meant to say.
Yeah. From the other side or from the same side?
No, from the same side. Because they're throwing all this money into fact checking. Let's throw some money
Who's
into
fact checking the fact checker?
Well, they know the truth.
Oh, that's right.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's just is a representative from Wikipedia or Snopes that sits there the entire time that Trump's talking. But I kind of would like to know some of the things that Biden actually means, because then maybe I can.
Well, he ain't gonna tell you.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I heard
they need to have that interpreter.
They're like, who's waiting on these debates to decide who they're going to vote for? You're telling me there's that many on the fence people that just like, if I could just hear them stand beside each other and talk, I'd be able to decide.
Well,
are there that many people?
I think it would turn a lot of people away from Biden, though.
Oh, that's why he's not going to get up there.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like, it's not that they're on the fence, but if they go, well, Joe, I don't. He rambled for 15 minutes about.
You can tell anytime.
Some guy rambled for 15 minutes about kids touching his leg hair or something.
Corn pop.
Corn pop, yeah.
At the swimming pool.
Pretty much admitted to like beating the crap out of him. Beating the crap out of a guy.
Soft pedophilia.
Oh, no.
Low grade
pedophilia. Yeah.
They loved running their hands up my...
And never once did you go,
blonde
kids,
leg hairs. Yeah.
Don't be touching my legs.
Or, where's the mama at?
Yeah. Some mama's just
get your leg away from my kid, you weirdo. My gosh. Yeah. But, yeah, so either he's going to fake COVID and do the smart thing and not debate.
Yeah.
Or they're going to go with, I'm not going to give Trump another platform to speak from.
I saw a video the other day of when Biden was debating
Pence.
No, the girl from Alaska.
Palin. Sarah Palin.
Two completely different people. From him then and him now.
Well, Sarah Palin was like 06. That's when that was happening. That was 14 years ago.
But he could form sentences and stuff and like speak clearly and all that stuff.
14 years ago he was 64.
Was that 06?
That was when
it was it would have been 12 years ago, because Obama
2008,
Obama had 2 terms, Trump's had 1 term, so that would have been 4.
Well, it would have been 2010, 2016, 2020.
Yeah.
So
no.
He was elected in 16. He's going to get reelected in 20. So now we're down to 12. 2012, that was Obama's second term. 08 was his first term.
Yeah. A minute ago you said.
I said 06. 08.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was against that guy from Arizona, John McCain.
Oh, yeah.
That was Palin was his VP.
Was it? I thought it was Romney. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, Romney was just we're not winning.
That guy's...
Let's just throw him out there. We're not going to win.
He's warm water.
Yeah.
He'll do...
Because it was Romney, then McCain, and then we got Trump.
I thought it was McCain-Romney.
It was Romney McCain. But either way, it's like we know we're not winning. We're throwing Romney out there because we know we're not winning.
Well, they had a job lined up for old Mitt as soon as Obama was elected. He got put in some place.
But yeah.
But dude, would it not be just so funny? Because you can tell when Biden's doing any kind of like speech or he's doing an interview or whatever, he's got they drill those points into his
talking
head,
points. Yeah.
And he gets a couple of words of each one and he knows, okay, that's my sequence is this word, this word, this word, and then a sentence with each word.
Yeah.
But when he gets them words mixed up,
I'd watch the highlights of that every day of the week.
They're all on YouTube.
I'm talking about if it was a full on presidential debate.
You know how fast Trump would get him tied up in something, and then he would literally just like
because you get him upset, and then it's just it's downhill. Was it? he was touring some factory somewhere, and then the guy
Biden was or Trump was?
Biden was.
Oh, he's a hothead.
Yeah.
Because he'll get mad.
Yeah,
He
he
challenged
told
that
the guy-
fat guy to a push-up contest or whatever.
He started asking him about guns or something like that. He was like, so are you coming to, do this? Or and the guy didn't seem aggressive. And then all of a sudden Biden got in his face. And was like, hey, I don't work for you. Aval, yes, you do.
Yeah, supposed to.
He said, we'll take this outside right now. Yeah. It's like,
well, that's a symptom of Alzheimer's.
Aggression. Yeah.
You don't know what's going on, but you also can't regulate your emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like having a 5-year-old. That's not even up for debate.
That dude is ill.
Yeah. There's something going on.
And it is terrible. It's almost sad to see because, like, in high school, you'd get that kind of like the slow kid to like, hey, that cheerleader said she wanted to go on a date with you, but you got to go talk to her first. Just that kind of thing from like movies and TV shows. And then you get that kid to go over there and start talking. It
seemed like you were talking about from real life. Is this something that you did?
I didn't do that. No, I was around too many special needs people growing up, and I didn't.
Like yourself.
Never did that. Yeah, I never did that.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Where you get that kid to like whatever. Mm-hmm. You can get that kid to do something, and it's almost like they're because Joe doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah,
you'd be like, Joe, come out here, put this mask on, say a couple things.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what to say. It'll be fine. You'll babble through it like a lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like sad. Like, hey, y'all know he's as sick as.
Yeah.
It's not just Republicans that can tell he's not all there. Like, y'all have to literally. You're in the like bulletproof Tahoe with him on the way to the thing.
It feels like Weekend at Bernie's. Like they're just propping him up.
Exactly.
And they're like, hey, Joe, go say this real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like, don't sit here and tell me that
Weekend at Joey's.
We're the ones that. That's the name of it.
It is.
Yeah. But don't sit here and tell me that I'm that deluded that I'm the only one that thinks he's not mentally capable of doing stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all know that's happening, and you put a suit on him and send him up there like a Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah. You got strings holding his arms up.
Weekend at Joey's.
Weekend at Joey's.
Yeah. Gosh. That's
but then you got to think all that deep state. That's the plan.
Well, and I think it's going to kind of be like Bush. Bush and who was Bush's vice president?
He shot the guy with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Vice. That was the movie.
That was the movie.
Came out with.
But the whole time it was like Bush isn't really president.
Right.
It was.
Wow, I can't think of his name.
Golly.
Dang.
I'm horrible at this.
Yeah. Biden's a puppet to get in office.
Whatever her face is.
Oh, Kamala.
Yeah, Camila Anderson. Is it Camila Anderson? That sounds like Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. That's what it is. But she's just going to get in office and she's going to shove her hand up him and just work him like a puppet the whole time.
So the Democrats are in a pickle right now because anytime Biden gets up there and says anything, like AOC and Bernie and all them don't
Dick
like
Cheney.
it because it did. Oh yeah, Cheney.
Ah!
Oh, Richard C.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway,
how is Dick a shorthand for Richard?
How is Meg short for Margaret?
Well, she did
none
that.
of those words. No, it's a common thing. That's not just a her thing. That's a common thing. My wife's name is Margaret on her birth certificate, and she goes by Meg, which doesn't make any sense. So I never call her Meg.
Mm-mm. You got to go to the end of the word to get that E. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald, he's a comedian. He's been around for 1,000 years. He's so funny. But he said a joke one time that he said, like, have you ever thought about, like, ID?
Identification?
Like, that's short for identification. He's like, what a lopsided... I stands for I.
Yeah.
And D stands for
D.
Identification.
Yeah.
What kind of lopsided abbreviation is that? But...
Speaking about special kids, there was a kid. As soon as you started talking about that, this story popped up in my head.
From when it happened to you?
No, I was in JROTC in high school, and there was a kid that was in there.
Did they let you carry around your piccolo with you and the wooden
I didn't
sword?
have a piccolo and no wooden sword. We had like a marksmanship class.
No, the wooden gun.
Yeah, we had like a marksmanship class.
Did you twirl them?
I did not do that. I did get cadet of the year.
Holy.
I know. I put that on my resume sometimes.
You should.
Tomopolis High School Cadet of the Year.
Dang.
JROTC.
Hey.
Anyways, there was a kid that he was a special needs kid. And we never made fun of him because he was a cool kid. Like
We didn't
he was,
do that either.
No, I'm not saying that you did. I'm just saying people might think that's where this is going. Knowing me as a person, they might think that's where this is going. But we enjoyed hanging out with him. He was a cool kid. He was fun to hang out with, but he was extremely special. One time I saw him stick his hand into an ant pile and just leave it there and just was like.
He might have been a superhero.
He could have been, because he threw a football one time and it hit me square in the chest. He was 50 yards away from me.
Yeah.
And it hit me square in the chest. Granted, I looked like that picture that we just saw a minute ago, but he hit me square in the chest and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
It took every bit of wind out of my lungs. But it was just crazy that he was that, like, they say it. He was strong. They've got a word for it. I'm not going to say that word.
No.
But he was strong, boy.
Oh, yeah.
He was strong.
That's how it goes.
He was so strong.
Yeah.
But
do you ever see that too? I had to stop watching like high school movies because it's always like the jocks.
Yeah,
Just
versus
like
the nerds.
They trip people in the lunchroom and like throw a kid in a trash can.
Well, the new
in what world?
So this is on the docket, but not in a way. Netflix has the Cobra Kai TV show.
I watched the Karate Kid so that I can watch Cobra Kai.
Really? You didn't watch you never saw Karate Kid growing up?
I watched it 2 days ago for the first
time. It's a decent movie, but it follows that same. Well, the Cobra Kai TV show acting is horrible,
right?
But Netflix is known
those two
for
guys
bad
been
TV
in
shows.
Other stuff since then.
Yeah, if they were
good
great actors, you would have seen those two guys in tons
Yeah.
of stuff. They would be Tom Cruises now, like essentially. But Netflix has there's an old South Park skit where it's like Netflix executives sitting in their office and they just get a phone call and they pick it up and it's like, "Hello, this is Netflix." And they're like, "Yeah, you're greenlit." And then they hang up the phone and then somebody calls them. They pick up the phone and, "Yeah, this is Netflix." "Yeah, you're a go." And then because they put out so many crappy things.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find a good Netflix.
When you have that much of an agenda, though, you're gonna skimp on the finished product as far as
Agenda.
Everything's got to have some kind of social justice thing in it. The themes have to be underlying and but
it's not even that for me. Did you see that 6 Underground movie?
The one with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
In it? No.
Sucked.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Sucked so hard. I couldn't even. There was you couldn't even follow. It was like the last Transformers movie where it was like, wait, what just happened? How did that? What?
I've never seen.
Was it like? It's just like it's these things that are supposed to be connected somehow.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden they're in one location and now they're in this other location and they don't tell you why they're there or how they got there or anything like that.
Yeah.
You said you watched the Project Power movie.
Yeah.
And it wasn't no good.
I've said this many times that Netflix is one of the most liberal companies in the world. That from top down. There have been people that talk about they've gone in to pitch a show to Netflix or a movie or something, and they'll sit down in the meeting, walk out the plan and the characters and the storyline and the stuff, and then Netflix will straight up be like, "How many Asian women do you have on your writing staff?" And they'll be like, "I don't know. Did you like the episode? You've got to have this many black people in the show as main characters. But the show's supposed to be in a South Dakota. What? I don't. No, you got to have.
Yeah.
And so it's when you force that kind of stuff, you're giving up the excellence factor of it. Not that Jesus Christ, not that like
if you don't have Jesus Christ in it.
Well, I just wanted to clarify that I don't mean that like minorities can't put a good show together. Good
Black
Lord.
Panther. Great movie.
He passed away.
He did pass away. R.I.P.
You know what?
Chad Boseman.
It made me mad that right by Taco Bell on 15th Street, there's a huge billboard of Chadwick Boseman, his face, his like birth and death date, and it's Wakanda Forever.
Did Stan Pate put that up?
Maybe.
Have you seen all his?
Oh yeah.
Like support black jobs and all that stuff.
Hey,
billboards.
Mayor, Black Communities Matter.
Yeah, you know why that is, right? He bought a nightclub over on the west side, and it burned down, and so he's trying to get that property value back up.
It's yeah.
I haven't even seen that build, the Wakanda Forever. That's on 15th Street.
It's on 15th Street in between like Cookout and Taco Bell.
I mean, I could see the Wakanda Forever because that's his thing. Like that was his thing.
But like
for Black Panther.
But that'd be like if
that's what he's known for.
But he's been in a bunch of other stuff. He's a great actor.
Yeah, but that was his breakout role.
True,
almost.
But it's not like we'll miss you, Chadwick. It's something from a superhero movie you did. Is what we think of you as. But wouldn't it be kind of like rest in peace, Mammoth, if you died, and that was it, or like we're sorry to lose you, firefighter. And that was the sentiment. I don't know. It would be like having. It just frustrated me.
To me, it would be like having if Babe Ruth died, and you didn't even say anything about baseball. You'd be like, he was a great man.
Yeah,
but he also broke all the records for baseball. Like, are we not talking about that?
No,
that's his thing that he's known for. That's
that. But I would hate for. If I died and somebody put a billboard up and it was like, we're going to miss your sandwiches.
I wouldn't want it to be known for that. Well, if I made the best sandwiches that everybody's ever had, I'd be like,
I know.
I'd be like, yeah, thanks for putting my achievement up there. They didn't
put his name on it.
You know who he is.
That just frustrated me.
He's Black Panther.
But I'm easily frustrated.
Yeah.
Especially these days. But
yeah. Yeah, Netflix movies are trash. It's hard to find. When you find a good one, though, when you find a good Netflix one, they're fantastic. Like, they're the best, some of the best TV that you've seen if you can find that good Netflix content. I'm trying to think of one that, like Stranger Things. That was fantastic. It was a great TV show.
I won't watch season 4.
I will.
Well, we watched the entire season 3 at my house on Halloween last year. Do you remember that?
We did.
You and Meg came over and we watched the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you can tell when performers are having to walk on eggshells, and that's like socially walk on eggshells as far as like, so we got to make sure that there's not too many like aggressive minorities in this shot, or we've got to make sure that the old evil person in this is white.
I barely even see those things, and that's just from like a stand. Like I'm more care about the story,
right?
And
if you're having to put all your effort on that kind of stuff, the story's going to suffer. That's why most of Netflix's stuff sucks.
You was good.
I didn't. We watched the first season.
It was pretty good.
We
enjoyed it. But
the new one, the Project Power.
Yeah, not great.
Everything's pretty much been done too. Like,
I'm excited about that Tenet movie though. That comes out this weekend.
Tenet is on Netflix or
no, it's in theaters. Tenet. It's the guy who made Inception.
Okay.
It's his new movie, and like
I can probably get on board with that.
Time goes forward and backwards in the movie, and so like some characters can go through time backwards while it's going forwards, and that's why Tenet it's the same.
Both,
yeah, but we're going to see that this weekend, and I'm excited about it. But yeah,
it seems complicated.
It is, but I love those. I love movies that like have that.
What do you think about Inception?
I liked it. I
Do
really
you think
did.
you made it out?
I think the best part of that movie is you don't know.
Oh, you do know.
No, you don't.
It's obvious.
What's obvious?
He obviously is in the real world at the end.
The top keeps spinning.
No. Oh, okay.
And then it goes black.
Wait. In the movie, when he's spinning that thing to test, it's almost like it's built into the tabletop it's on. As far as straight up and down, nothing. Gets a little wobble in it.
Maybe.
No, it does.
Maybe not.
No, it does.
Maybe not.
No,
that's the whole point of that ending scene.
He gets out.
That's the whole point of the ending scene is it
He fires
cuts
that bad
before
boy
you know
off.
anything.
No, he fires that bad boy off, and it perfect. It wobbles, and then it goes black. It don't wobble in a dream. It's perfect.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that.
You know the guy, Jason Gordon-Levitt, the young guy that's fighting with no gravity? He's in that
Project
Power.
Yeah. I'm going to have to watch it tonight.
It's watchable, but it's you're not going to want to watch it twice.
Yeah. I don't like watching any movie twice, honestly.
Oh, you need to go back and watch Inception. Or just the last
Well,
5
I've seen that
minutes
one. I've seen that one a couple of times.
You know, I had buddies in high school that would have fought to the death saying that Inception and Shutter Island are together.
Really? Well, they're saying Inception and Tenet might be connected somehow.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Split movies?
Yeah.
And the one from back in the day?
Yeah. Breaking.
Nah. It's like
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Yeah. Unbreakable.
And then Split, and then the one that came in between them.
Yep.
Did you see how they all pieced together?
Yeah.
I don't think I did it. I didn't watch them in enough time. I didn't watch them like close enough together to put it all together. Boy, that one scared me when he turns into that last one and starts crawling around, tearing stuff to shreds.
Yeah. You don't like scary movies, though.
Nope.
I don't either. But
world's scary enough. I don't need to be pouring
speaking
that
about
in.
stuff that's scary in the real world, you want to talk about camping. There's some stuff out in the woods I wouldn't want to run up on.
Yeah.
Like Bigfoot.
Wow. I would be willing to go camping in the cold.
Okay.
I want, like, the day that the forecast says like 90% of people wouldn't go camping because it's too cold.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. I want to go to Montana because it's camping weather year round.
Yeah.
And that has an attraction too. Like in the middle of the summer when we can't do nothing here other than like go swimming or, get in a pool or riding a river or something like that. Going to Montana sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yeah. I'd probably like to do it a little closer first than Montana.
Yeah.
But
well,
that just seems like that's a long trip for me to not know what I'm doing. To have camped for the first time.
Yeah.
Last time I camped, I slept in an Eno in March with just a t-shirt and jeans on.
Yeah.
And almost died. It was so cold.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so cold.
Yeah,
In an Eno, you got the air blowing under you too.
Yeah.
And I wore blue jeans and a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then like got another shirt and put another shorts.
I would have figured though that you would have loved that.
It was nice until it was 2 a.m. and it's pitch black and I'm about to knock
fumbling around.
I'm shaking so bad I'm knocking leaves off the tree above me that I'm hung to.
Yeah, in March, which is
that's one of our
something
coldest
to say.
Yeah, well, March is cold
spring.
here.
Well, you got green leaves on the tree and you're shaking them off. That's
how bad I was
something
shivering.
to be said about that.
Gosh, that was years ago. But I want to do a fire.
Yeah. We had to go drop the van off the other day for a rental, and it made me just like that wanderlust where it's like, thinking back on all the trips that we've been on, and like, man, I want to go. I'm ready to go on a trip right now.
I'm just watching Alone too much. That show. That's what makes.
But you also said I want to go somewhere like backcountry, but I don't want to go to a trailhead and just start walking.
Well, no, I can camp closer than 10 miles in.
Yeah, but it doesn't have that. And this is from somebody who's done almost every round of camping that there is.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same appeal.
No, I get all that.
Like,
but I also know that I'm going to enjoy camping a whole lot more. I'm going to enjoy camping a whole lot more if I didn't just hike 10 miles to get there. I think. I don't know.
Well, and so you're talking about the way you want to do it is you want to turn everything off and just be out in the woods.
Yep.
And if you're not that far out, you can still hear like the cars going down the road.
I don't
and
mean
like
100 yards, but like
I get what you're saying.
3-4 miles in somewhere.
Yeah, I still think you need to go a little bit further, which is, I mean, it sounds like a lot, but
I'm just dipping my toe in the water, and you want me to do a gainer off the diving board.
Well, if you could do a gainer off the diving board.
Oh, you still could.
But I'm saying, if you could, wouldn't you want to do that instead of just putting your toe in the water?
Well,
if you could.
Well, I don't dip my toe in very often in that world. Last time I went camping, which was fake camping, was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
we'll set something up. We'll set a trip up.
Yeah. And
then we'll
in Tuscaloosa County.
There's not very many places to do that in Tuscaloosa County.
You just haul off in the woods. Get dropped off.
Get dropped off on somebody's private property.
Just go to one of them timber strips where they do whatever.
Yeah. I'll get us a decent trip up that's relatively close.
Yeah. I just want to be.
We'll have fun.
Do it, but I want to do it. I don't want to have to take a trip to go camping.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Well, if we leave here at a decent time in the morning, and we can get to like, I mean, as close as like Tennessee or Georgia or somewhere like, not too far away. It's not stretching it.
Yeah.
But there's a vast difference in the quality of views. Because you've got more hilly terrain, you've got some mountains and stuff, and that's what makes it like being able to like wake up. Like, so one of the best poops I've ever had was on the side of a mountain. We were on the Appalachian Trail going from Rowan Mountain to Highway 19 or something. It's a pretty good route right there, but it's a 30 mile hike. But hold on, so we're at this shelter, which is an old barn, like a big old barn. It was really, really nice. But they had it was 10 sheets. It was like a 3-way 10 sheets. So 2 sides in the back. And then there was just a toilet sitting right there out in the middle of the woods. And you sit on that toilet, and it was just like valleys and mountains. Yeah. And it was
poop with a view.
It was fantastic. It makes me just hate pooping on a regular toilet now. That's ridiculous.
Well, maybe I can get some kind of deep thought like that.
Yeah, probably so. But anyway, that's about all the time we got for today.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
If y'all are as sick of all this COVID stuff as we are, just know I'm probably not going to talk about it much more.
We've said that since episode 1.
I know, but it's just so annoying.
Yeah, I agree. It's gotten to the point where I am tired of talking about it, but it's also the only thing to talk about. True. Almost, everything's tied
unless y'all
back
got
to
something
it.
you want us to talk about, and let us know.
We are more than welcome to take submissions, and we'll talk about it and all that fun stuff.
Man. We're a fourth of the way to 100.
I'm going to go unlock the front door for her.
All right. I'll finish this out for us. Again, you can find us on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and any other of your normal streaming sites. Get us on Instagram, aggressively medium pod. Check out all of our polls and contests and pictures we put up and talk about and the videos, and let us know what you think. That's it. See y'all.